I don't know if I've talked about this in the past, but that's something very true about myself, is that I've been out since I was pretty young. And so for a large portion of my life, I have been out. And part of being out for so long is, at least in proportion to my life, is that I've learned to not argue with people who just fundamentally don't believe your oppression exists or doubt your existence as a whole. Like, it just doesn't help. There's no real point in arguing with someone who has already had their mind made up. However, every once in a while, someone says something that's just stupid enough for me to be like, you know what, I'm going to use this as like a jumping off opportunity to talk about issues that are important to me to people who actually care. So I'm not going to name the person who said these takes. You probably already know who they are, or talk about them, because they're not important to the issues I want to talk about. Specifically, I want to talk about the extreme lack of knowledge and education people have on biphobia and how biphobia can manifest. So first and foremost, biphobia is not just an intercommunity issue. Yes, that's an aspect of biphobia, but biphobia very rarely exists in the outside world. It is something that cishet people are perfectly capable of perpetuating. And biphobia absolutely is a systemic form of violence that exists beyond the realms of things like the internet. Like the inherent belief that bisexual people are promiscuous and cheaters are things that get bisexual people killed in a unique way. Like there is a distinct reason why bisexuals have even amongst the LGBT community, disproportionately high rates of intimate partner violence, homelessness, and drug abuse. Like the belief that bisexuals are inherently promiscuous cheaters very much feeds into the violence we face, which shows in our disproportionate IPV rates. And even if we want to talk about biphobia from a historical lens, the HIV/AIDS crisis is an interesting example of how biphobia uniquely manifests violence against bisexual folks, specifically Black bi men, were believed to be transmitters between the gay and straight communities, and bisexual men faced a unique violence because of that. And if you want more contemporary examples of how biphobia negatively impacts bisexual people, the way a lot of asylum laws are written in such a way that bisexual people cannot seek asylum for their bisexuality, despite the persecution they may face for being bisexual. I think I'll probably make another part talking more about how, even though biphobia is rooted in homophobia, that does not mean biphobia doesn't need to exist as a term.